Hello and welcome to Tabletop for One. Today I'm doing my first video appearance, as in you get to see my face this time, that I have ever done. Kind of doing this to celebrate. I got 50 subscribers, which is amazing. Thanks to everybody who has subscribed and watched my videos. But really, this time I wanted to speak to you directly and talk about the joy of gaming. Particularly about the joy that certain designers have brought to gaming and to me personally. These designers I have talked to briefly over Facebook or Reddit concerning their games or their designs or just in general board game topics. And I wanted to highlight them here because they are very impactful on my experience in board gaming. I want to preface everything by talking about the fact that board gaming is very helpful to me personally. I deal with depression, anxiety, stress in serious ways. And when I discovered board gaming, it brought to me a relief that I could not find elsewhere. It takes me away. It occupies my mind in a way that is positive and there's just a level of growth that I've gained from board gaming and from the board game community. Now, if you see me on Facebook, you know I'm primarily a solo gamer, but the community in the solo game groups the community is just amazing, and the people there are very positive and provided just a great impact to this hobby that we share. So I wanted to bring to you the top 5 board game designers that have positively impacted me in this hobby. And I'm going to start off with number 5, and that's going to go to Brian Garber. You may not know this name, but this is one of his games. It's Puzzle Dungeon. Puzzle Dungeon is a solitaire game that it takes 10 minutes. You pick out a hero, you pick a dungeon to explore, and you fight monsters by using a combination of suited cards to battle them. And when you battle them, you gain trophies, and the trophies activate abilities, or the monsters themselves will activate abilities like shuffling up columns or defeating another monster, or even turning a monster to its elite side, which makes them more difficult to kill. Anyways, Brian Garber has been present on numerous social media sites, not really promoting his games, but being there to answer questions and being a positive impact in the community, giving his own suggestions on games he likes, and just an all-around positive guy. If I remember correctly, you can get Puzzle Dungeon off his Etsy site. You'd have to search Brian Garber on Etsy to find it, but it's a great game. I have the deluxe edition. Comes with, I think, something like 400 different heroes, and all 5 dungeon decks. I think the base game just comes with 1 dungeon deck and quite a few heroes. So plenty of replayability. Such great game. By such a great designer providing positive influence in this community of ours. And then we're going to go for number 4. We're going to go to Luke Laurie. Now, Luke Laurie, you may know him from this big game that's been blowing up social media, and Dwellings of Elderville. I recently acquired Dwellings of Elderville, but I actually learned about Luke Laurie's games before Dwellings entered into my collection with Whistle Mountain, which you'll see right here. Whistle Mountain was recommended to me by Luke Hector, the Broken Meeple YouTube content creator, and I love Whistle Mountain. I love the worker placement concept, and the way Luke Laurie does it. It seems in most of his games is that You place all your workers, and then you recall them. And when you recall them, you get bonuses also. I really like that concept. So both of his games were great, but the kicker is he's on multiple of the Facebook groups, and he will chime in on posts about his games, very humbly thanking people for their positive reviews of his games. As he's there to answer questions and to encourage others in their gaming hobby. And I've had a few interactions with him, and they've been very positive. It just seems like a really nice guy to know, and so I really appreciate his contribution to the board game hobby, not just on the solo side, but also on the multiplayer side. Dwellings of Elderville, I actually played multiplayer today with my 3 kids, or sorry, with two two kids. I actually have 5 kids. I played with 2, so we played 3-player, and it was quite a lot of fun. My 9-year-old ended up winning the game when he it looked like he was far behind, but he pulled off a win. It was great. So I really appreciate Luke Laurie and his contribution to the gaming community. And so I'm going to go with number 3, and that is going to be Chuck Siegert, who made Zero Leader. He also made, I'm not sure how to pronounce this, it's Stucca Leader, I think, which recently was on Kickstarter. He's now in charge of Leader Games at Danverson Games, from what I hear. And he's very active on the Danverson Games forums, but also other of the war game forums. His Zero Leader game was my first leader game that I've played, and never played any game like that before. I've just recently got into the wargaming side of board gaming, and I just really love the game. Like, Zero Leader's a ton of fun. It's the rules take a little bit to get used to and to memorize, but after you memorize them, the games go by real quick, and it's this fun dogfighting game. Or well, sometimes dogfighting. Sometimes you're trying to bomb ships or like supply sites and that sort of thing. There's all sorts of different missions you can do. It's a lot of fun. So I look forward to his next game, and I guess he's working on a couple others. But his impact on social media is just, he's very funny and seems to be like a fun guy just to know. And he's always there commenting, making jokes about being the emperor of Japan. It's hilarious, and it's fun to interact with him on the Facebook forums. So I really appreciate the joy he brings to those communities. And this one's going to be similar because it's the same company that Chuck Siegert works for, but this is going to be Dan Verson, as well as the rest of his team that work on the Warfighter games. I believe his son does. There's Dennis, who works at DVG, and Benjamin. There's just several people that are part of the Warfighter team, from what I understand. Correct me if I'm wrong, okay? But Warfighter turned out to be one of my favorite games of all time. Now, I've been a big fan of living card games like Arkham Horror and Marvel Champions, and I own all their content. But I saw a video of Warfighter by the video was done by the Hexy Beast, Jonathan, and he did a great video on a playthrough, and I saw the game and I was like, I gotta have that. When I played it, it gave me the feeling of a living card game, where you choose a mission, outfit your characters, and you go to battle. and you try and complete the mission. And Warfighter was just a huge positive impact in my gaming hobby. I don't know where I would be with board gaming if I didn't have Warfighter in my collection. It's that much of an impact. So I'm very thankful for Dan Verson and his team, not only for making the game, but they're very present on their forums, as well as the Solitaire War Games forum, and they constantly are just answering questions all the time, cheering you on when you're playing the game or when you lose, and they take care of you as far as like customer service and stuff. If you got something wrong with an order, or if you're missing something from the game, they're very quick to respond when you email them. Just everything about it, it screams a great publisher and a great designer and a great design team and a great team in general. And I greatly appreciate that, because not all publishers and design teams are that way, but they seem to care about their impact in the gaming community. So I very much appreciate that. All right, we're going to the number one spot, and this one wasn't hard to choose. I knew my number one before I made this video. It was harder to choose the other ones as far as like the order they went in. But the number one positive impact, the number one game designer that I've experienced have a positive impact on this hobby is going to be David Thompson. And some of you may not know David Thompson by name, but you will know the name of the game Pavlov's House, or Castle Itter, Soldiers in Postmen's Uniforms, Lanzareth Ridge, and For What Remains, one of my favorite skirmish tactical games. Now, David Thompson, I've had some interaction with him, and it's been positive every time, no matter what. He seems to be very happy to make these games for people, not for the popularity that he has among the wargaming community, but it just seems like he wants to have that positive impact. He provides these really interesting simulation games of these specific scenarios, like Pavlov's House, and Lanzareth Ridge, I believe, is being printed or almost done printing, so it should be shipping across the sea in the next couple months, I would imagine. But don't quote me on that, I don't know. But David Thompson, he's always there to say thank you when we talk about his games. He's there to answer questions. He wants to give these games to the community to have this impact, and he's got one that just I believe is in its pledge manager stage on GameFound, called Resist. It's a small card game that doesn't cost much but looks excellent. I believe you can see videos on it. I want to say Liz Davidson from Beyond Solitaire did a video on it. Also, there's another one called Zheng He, and that's on the GMT's P500. If you don't know what that is, it's basically a pre-order. And that game looks amazing for solo. It's like a seafaring campaign solo game that has, consequences between each scenario and that sort of thing. It looks amazing. You should check that one out. But anyways, I just really appreciate David Thompson. And David Thompson, if you're listening, I really, really appreciate you. The messages you sent me after my last video, I can't tell you how much they positively affected me. So I really appreciate you for that. And I just want to thank everybody else, not just the designers, but the gaming community in general. If we didn't have this community, I don't think I would enjoy the gaming as much. yes, it would probably still give me the distraction I need from my anxiety and stress, but I don't think it would give me the joy. So I really, really appreciate all the joy you guys offer to this community, all the joy you guys bring in to these games, and everyone else who's just sharing their own personal joy of the games that they play. I love it. Keep going. Enjoy those games. Even if it's not a game I enjoy, I love the fact that you do. And I hope you continue to do so. So thank you very much for watching. And I hope I did all right for my first time face to face here. But I appreciate you guys watching Tabletop for One, and have a good night.